A poor teenage boy named Cairo in faded indigo hood counts tiny silver coins beside a straw mattress beneath a leaking roof inside a cramped city dwelling. Broken watches scattered across a rough wooden shelf, rain tapping against narrow windows. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera, and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. Cairo walks through a rain-soaked alley behind a crowded medieval train-like market station carrying a wicker satchel, while a mysterious old man in a dark russet cloak sits beneath a flickering lantern beside a wooden box overflowing with strange watches. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. The old man offers Cairo a silver watch marked with a strange X symbol while rainwater drips from crooked rooftops and townsfolk pass carrying wooden buckets and woven baskets. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. Cairo stands shocked in the empty alley as the old man mysteriously vanishes, leaving only a rocking wooden chair beneath a glowing lantern and wet cobblestones reflecting pale gold light. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. Inside a dim apartment chamber, Cairo studies the strange silver watch beside a broken wall clock frozen at 11:11, while candlelight flickers across parchment-colored walls and rusty iron tools. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. Cairo twists the watch crown as suspended raindrops freeze in midair near an open window. A spilled goblet hangs motionless beside him, and the room falls into a natural silence lit by pale moonlight. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. A magical watch glows with golden numbers counting backward from 10, while Cairo stumbles onto his straw mattress with wide, fearful eyes inside the silent chamber of frozen time. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes. Cairo secretly freezes time inside a crowded medieval school hall, while students in teal and saffron tunics remain motionless, carrying parchment scrolls and wooden trays beneath hanging banners. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture. Cairo grins nervously as he steals warm bread and red apples from a frozen marketplace, where merchants stand motionless beside wicker baskets, iron scales, and hanging lanterns during cold autumn rain. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on a cruel noble boy remains frozen mid-laugh, while Cairo quietly paints dark ink across the bully's face inside a candlelit classroom lined with wooden benches and parchment maps. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, Cairo discovers the watch growing brighter and hotter in his trembling hands, while strange shadow figures appear faintly behind frozen townsfolk in the moonlit streets. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature. Inside a deserted alley of wet cobblestones, Cairo notices one hooded figure still moving during stop time, while every other person and raindrop remains perfectly frozen. The hooded stranger with pale eyes points toward Cairo's glowing watch beneath dark cathedral towers, as black birds circle silently through. Cairo runs fearfully through silent frozen streets, clutching the silver watch, while abandoned market stalls. Cairo sits alone beside his apartment window, staring at the glowing watch, while the broken wall clock remains fixed at 11:11 and cold rain falls softly over the sleeping medieval city beyond. Late 15th century illuminated manuscript miniature, tempera and shell gold on vellum, flat medieval perspective, parchment texture, brown ink outlines, gilded flourishes.